¿Cuál fue la pregunta?
Un comentario de
Ajá.
que cuando tú escribes allí la individualidad que ve el devoto, la humana, es su propia individualidad.
Es
Y
correcto.
la que vemos en todo la propia. Sí, no,
Sí.
nosotros.
Si quieres ser un individuo, ves individuos en todas partes. ¿Y sabes qué es conciencia? Ves conciencia en todas partes. El individuo ve a otros individuos. La conciencia solo se ve a sí misma. Solo sabe de sí misma. Entonces, cuando están con un sabio, y si ustedes
Se está
piensan,
identificando con el individuo.
correcto, exacto. Si te identificas con el cuerpo, pensamiento yo, soy el cuerpo, es el sentido de individualidad. Entonces, eso se sobrepone sobre el sabio. Yo creo que soy el cuerpo, yo creo que soy un individuo, por lo tanto, tú también eres el cuerpo y tú también eres un individuo. Y nada puede estar más lejos de la verdad. Ah, no. No hay pregunta. Te vas mañana, ¿no?
Aproveche.
Aprovecha. Harry, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
I remember you mentioning a while back
Uh,
that when you
internet troubles that,
can you hear
yeah, but interrupted seems to be that is an issue with your internet connection.
me? Okay. Are you able to hear me okay now?
Try again.
Maybe I'll take my camera off.
Yeah, that will do. No, you put your microphone off.
All right, I'll try again.
Ah,
There we go. I remember you mentioning a while ago that falling asleep
ah.
during meditation or something like that is a defense against pain arising or something like that. Is that correct?
No, the mind can fall asleep. The self-defense in this case means it will go into the self, but it will not die. In deep sleep, the mind is not there, but it rises again in awakened state. The ego rises again, right?
Right.
So the mind disappears in deep sleep, but it is not destroyed.
Sure.
So the mind as a self-defense mechanism in meditation says, cheers and goodbye, I'm coming just now. See?
Can you say that again?
The mind is a way of speech. The mind in meditation as a self-defense mechanism says, cheers, goodbye, but I will be back.
Right.
Yes. The difference,
Right.
the difference between deep sleep and the egoless sense in the awakened state is that the mind is merged in the self and
Mm.
doesn't rise again. Means the I am the body idea does not rise again.
Right.
Now, if you are meditating and you fall asleep, no harm, right? When you wake up, you regain your meditation again.
Mm. Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes the mind is not balanced, right? Before the beginning of the inquiry. So the mind can go either to sleep, dull, or it can just wander around, right? Thinking,
Uh-huh.
thinking about this, that, or the other. See? So paying attention
Sure.
to something else other than itself, which itself is itself.
Mm. When you're, I mean, sometimes I even feel that I start to nod off um, in satsang as well. Is that a defense? Like, is that?
Oh, well, maybe, I don't know. I don't know what time is it there. Maybe you are tired because of the work hours or whatever, and it is late at night or something. And then naturally you may fall asleep, but the mind can do that in satsang. See, the mind will get balance in satsang.
Mm. Yeah.
Satsang will balance the mind. So neither too pure, nor too active, nor too dull, right?
Mm. Uh-huh.
And if one of the tendencies or characteristic of the mind, better to say, will be more predominant, it might be the pure mind.
Right.
So we believe that we don't understand the inquiry, and we're trying to make an extraordinary effort to keep the mind quiet. And there is no need to make an effort to keep the mind quiet, but to understand what the mind is.
Sure.
If you see that the mind is not there, so the mind will remain awake and yet still.
Mm. Okay.
The body needs rest. There is no question about it. Mainly the eyes, right? When they
Yeah.
on, you may lay down but you will find that you won't be able to sleep
Yeah.
because what you are does not sleep. What you are is ever conscious, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It was like this morning I was absolutely exhausted, but like I woke up, but I wasn't sleeping. I mean, I was laying in bed, but I wasn't sleeping, but still absolutely exhausted.
Yeah, it can be. It can be. The body can get tired. There is no question about it. And see, the jnani or the wise is conscious of the body as much as the ignorant is conscious of the body, right?
Right.
And experiences the same body sensations that an ignorant, pleasure, pain, and so on, tiredness, and so on. Uh, I remember that a description of Ramana Maharshi physical condition right before he died. He said that the body was so weak that he could hardly hold his head straight, right?
Uh-huh.
And suddenly, whoop, collapsed, right?
Right.
So the body of the jnani goes through the same thing as the body of an ignorant. The difference is
Sure.
jnani is not affected because it is not identified with the body.
Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't recognize the body as I. Maybe as his, but not as I. Thank you. No sabíamos que tú no, si tú tomabas café en la noche, por eso. Seguro.
Mira, tío, pues también mi niña,
Tranquilo.
más allá creo,
Más allá que de que.
ahí.
Just be.
Mm.
We are that. Self-inquiry means is to be what we are.
Yeah.
We remove the idea, I am the body, and what remains is what we are as we are, aware only of oneself as we are.
Yeah. Sure.
In the other hand, if you see the mind as a mind, you will see the thoughts and you will follow the thoughts.
Right.
See the mind as consciousness, the mind is gone. That means that to see the mind is to be what sees. See,
Yeah.
not to do something, but to be what you are.
Right. Okay. So it's kind of like the activity of seeing is it not achieving something?
No, there is no achieving of anything. Who is going to achieve? How can you achieve yourself?
Yeah.
And your non-self cannot achieve yourself because it's a thought. A thought cannot achieve it. The illusion cannot achieve reality.
Yeah.
Mm. The illusion can never become aware of reality. See, the seeing cannot see what sees, and the seer cannot see what sees because the seer is also part of the seeing from what sees point of view.
Right.
The more the understanding we are that becomes established, right? Less there will be ideas about practice and effort and even the inquiry.
Yeah, sure.
Mr. Radalal told me something, right? Basically, right before the ego to disappear completely, he said to me, this will be your three last questions, right? Who is the instrument of whom? Who surrenders to whom? Who inquires and what for? If you are that. Because we believe to be the ego, we as the ego inquire, see, about the place of origin of the ego or the reality or nature of the ego. That means I as the ego look for the source of the ego. And then I as the ego disappear. By doing so, I as the ego disappear, and I as the self or consciousness remain. And you know, this I is effortless. One of the descriptions or definition of consciousness is that it is effortless. No need to make an effort to be, and no need to make an effort to be self-aware, to know itself. Because being itself is knowing itself. Because it is, it knows that it is.
Mm.
Because I am conscious that I am.
Mm.
And I am conscious that I am because of I am is consciousness. See?
Mm.
Because I am
Yeah.
conscious that I am is consciousness. The consciousness knows that it is by simply being.
Yeah.
Doesn't know itself as we may interpret it. It cannot know itself because it will have to split in two, subject and object, to be the subject and the object of, are you following?
Yeah, sure.
Knows itself because it is.
Yeah.
I know that I am because I am. Or I am conscious that I am because I am.
Right.
Therefore, I am is consciousness. Being is consciousness. Being consciousness. Sat, chit.
Right.
There is no chit as functioning of sat, right? As an instrument that the being. Are you following?
Yeah, yeah, I understand.
Sat, chit, anand. Being is identical with consciousness, and its reality or natural state is silence. So it is not talking about three different things, right? Three words that means the same, I. Hmm?
Right.
Not that, something else, an I.
Yeah.
See?
Uh-huh.
So this is what Ramana said, self-inquiry is the path and the goal, because self-inquiry is self-awareness. And what is self-awareness for self-knowledge or self-realization? Can you see that?
Say that again.
Where? Ramana Maharshi said that the path is the goal.
Right, okay.
So the
Sure.
path for self-inquiry. Self-inquiry is self-awareness, self-observation, self-knowledge, self-realization.
Yeah.
Mm. Sometimes he would say that there is no self-realization. There is realization that there is no ego.
Yeah, sure.
Because the self is always self-realized. I mean, it always is, and it is what we are.
Yeah.
Mr. Ratanar used to say, when somebody will ask him if he was realized, he normally replied, if I say yes, I lie. If I say no, I lie. Hmm? Because the ego, see he will say to this person, what you call I is this body, and this body cannot realize the self,
Right.
right? And what is the mind?
Yeah.
The body. So the ego cannot realize the self. And if I say no, I lie because the self is already self-realized. So
Yeah, sure.
people will not be happy with the answer. And they will try to squeeze the answer from him. Are you realized or not? Can you please tell me yes or no? He will just keep quiet and ignore the person. What else?
It's good clarification.
Mm. So if the mind falls asleep, you go ignore it. You are as long as you know that you are not the mind, everything is okay.
Hmm.
Even if you are intellectually convinced that you are the self, intellectually convinced because it is logic, right? The logic and the reasoning leads you to the At least intellectual conviction that you are that, right?
Uh-huh.
And then his mind is sleeping, awake, or whatever it is. It's not a problem. And the mind itself will get balanced, so to speak.
Right.
I use the word mind, but when the sense of separation between the mind and the self disappears, how can you call it mind any longer?
Yeah, sure.
It is the self. And since the world is the mind, then the world is the self. So how can we call it world?
Right.
For the wise, there is only the self, only himself is.
Hmm. Yeah.
Did he got the wins? Papi, you got sub-champion. You are sub-champion. Sí, eres subcampeón. El profe te mandó la foto de la medalla, te la entrega el lunes. Sorry.
That's
Yes.
right.
Otherwise the world will go to bed and won't be able to give him the good news. Look,
Mhm.
it's not downloading yet. ¿Lo pudiste abrir? Debe ser la conexión. See, the thoughtless state is a natural state of the self. So
Right.
when there are thoughts, the self is thoughtless.
Right. Sure.
What else? I'm saying,
That's,
saying what else because a man is on the queue. So,
yeah. No worries.
are you sure?
Yeah. All good. Thanks.
Okay, cool.
Hi, Cesar.
Hi,
How are you? How is your health now?
I'm good. Much better.
And your family members?
Much better too. Thank you for asking.
Okay. Cesar, I think I told you like I'm like 41 and still single. Like I've been single all through the life. That I think a couple of weeks before I told you. And 2, 3 days back, I joined an online dating website, which I had not no joined for many. For I used to avoid it mostly, and I am feeling so restless for the last 2, 3 days. And this has been with me whenever I join a dating website, and that I get so restless. I get so obsessed. I scroll through hundreds of girls on the app, and I message some, and then the mind is going in a complete obsessive mode. It starts obsessing about what's going to happen. It is trying to control the situation, control the future, and always in the mode of anticipation what's going to happen, whether the girl is going to reply or not, whether the girl is going to accept or not. And it's getting creating so much of stress. And I don't know, it's like 1 month membership, so I don't know what to do. The membership is there, so even if I don't, so I'm trying. So a part of me is trying to get away from it, but there is pleasure, the pleasure of some pleasure involved in it, the psychological pleasure,
Psychological pleasure.
and it is not letting me drop it, or to at least be sensible, or even to use it in a sane way, in a not
What
in
is so
an
sorry for the question, but it's what is so sane to about all these applications? How desperate human beings are, right? Desperate for
I got.
for something or someone. See, that is
Mhm,
means that the tendency, the belief is so strong that
mhm.
something or someone to be satisfied or happy.
Yes.
An idea, that idea can weaken, right?
Mhm,
By ignoring it, by ignoring the mind altogether. But first, you have to understand the mind is nothing but that itself. The thought I, that it is running its own tendencies, and that you are not this I, you are not these tendencies. You are that on which the I and the tendencies appears, that which is aware of the I and the tendencies. Now, this I is not I. This I is a thought. You must understand that. That must be clear to you. If it is clear to you, everything else will be easier. Some tendencies are deeply rooted, they are very strong. Never mind. Yeah? If you recognize the mind and its tendencies for what they are, so these tendencies won't be able to control the behavior of the body. Hmm?
mhm.
And you won't be affected by them. You will find that you, as consciousness, are completely unaffected by the activities of this I, and the tendencies that condition its activities. And you can catch the I when it arises. Then who is the eye that catches the eye? Right? It is you. If you see the mind as consciousness, it collapses. If you see the mind believing that you are the mind, it drives you nuts. If you believe to be the ego, and then your own thoughts will drive you crazy. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, the mind doesn't stop. Okay, no problem. The mind must be working, operating, functioning, active on some sort of substratum, right?
Mm.
Then look at the substratum. It is your own self, right?
Mm.
The intellectual aspect of the inquiry leads you to that conclusion or to that understanding, better to say. To whom this thought appears? To me. So I am the very substratum on which the thought appears and disappears. From where the thought arises? From me. So I must be the source, right?
Mm.
And the teaching says that consciousness is the source. So you are that consciousness already. But the mind is so powerful, okay, that throws a veil on your reality and covers your reality. And gives the impression that your reality, that the self or consciousness is the body, or that it is limited to it, right?
Mm.
And gives the impression that one's nameless, formless reality is limited to a particular name and form. But this must be clearly understood. So the inquiry is not doing, as I was explaining now to Terry, but it is to be what we are. If you see what the mind actually is, simultaneously you see yourself as you actually are.
Mm.
If you don't see the mind as I, you see yourself as what sees the mind, which obviously cannot be the mind.
Mm.
So it is important that these words are understood properly, clearly. Then you won't be bothered neither by the quantity or the quality of your thoughts, and such thoughts will not control the body behavior. See, the body will not act conditioned by them. The mind can say, come, let's go to the right, to the left, up and down. The body will simply not move. If you don't follow the mind, see, the body does not follow the mind neither.
Mm.
I am consciousness. See? I don't need even the body or the mind. I don't need anything. I, as consciousness, don't need anything. I, as consciousness, am self-effulgent, independent from anything. Now, when you know yourself as you actually are, that implies to know the nature of the illusion, then you feel free to do as you please. You will not get trapped in delusion. And delusion will become your playground. Now it is hell, a jail. slavery, because now you're a slave of an object or a person or an idea, and the idea that you need any of it to be happy, to be in peace, to feel complete, whole, or not. Why the obsession for this, that, or the other? It can be anything, see, depending upon the person, right? For some people, fame, for some people, no recognition, others, health, another one's wealth, right? Another one is marriage, family. And, people are obsessed with enlightenment.
You are putting even enlightenment into this, in this category.
How can you attain enlightenment when you are already the self that it is already enlightened? You cannot get what you are. It's not something to be attained or achieved. The self or consciousness is not something to be attained or achieved. It is to be recognized as I. And I am already that. The mind covers me and says, no, you are the body. You are the self. What is the mind, the world, the idea of enlightenment, and the search for enlightenment in the deep sleep? It's not that. That means that the enlightenment is an idea. The one that is looking for enlightenment is an idea. I want enlightenment. This is nothing but thought. So I is a thought, want is a thought, and the enlightenment that the mind wants is a thought. The mind imagines enlightenment and imagine how consciousness of the self is, how that state might be. Right? So what the mind is seeking is the idea of the self or consciousness or enlightenment. Remove this I, and the idea of enlightenment disappears. And what remains is enlightenment, revealing itself as I. Are we going somewhere?
Yes.
I know what you mean. Some tendencies can be vary from person to person, but tendency is tendency. It's an obsession with an object. A person is an object. We may like to call it person, but this body is no different than this tree, right? This form, this is form, this is form, right? So the obsession or the tendency to run after something, to achieve something may be different, right? Again, some people money, some people wealth, some people fame, right? Some people, I don't know, whatever it is.
I wonder why the mind, like what is the real game going on? Like why is the mind, creating all these heavy distractions? Like suddenly 2 days back, suddenly it has erupted like a volcano the moment I joined this dating website.
Because the tendencies were there. See, they woke up and began to run the business. But the tendencies must disappear. Otherwise, the ego will not disappear. But the tendencies will not disappear because you remove tendency by tendency.
Hmm.
You have to remove the ego, which is the first tendency. The
Hmm.
tendency of body identification. See? The I who has these thoughts from where it arose. Or who is this I that is having these thoughts? Otherwise, it disappears, at least for a split second. And then another I remains, which is obviously cannot be the mind. If the mind disappears, the other I that remains cannot be the mind, but the self. Now, those tendencies were there, right? As wild as they appear, but in a latent state. As soon as the tendencies found, they succeeded actually in find a place where they can manifest, download the application, and then they woke up and see? And began to run after it. So all these tendencies, you may have tendencies that you may not even be aware of them, that they are there. Right? Now, when they arise, you must feel happy because
Must feel?
you must be happy when the tendencies arise because that's a way to get rid of the tendency. You cannot get rid of something that you don't even know that it is there, right?
Yes.
If I ask you, man, could you please throw the rubbish away? First, you must to find where the rubbish is, right? Otherwise, how can you throw it away? In this, in this case, you don't have to bother to look for the rubbish. It will rise up, and the environment, the surroundings, will make all that to surface. Hmm? You are not to deal with any of that. You are just to pay attention to the I actually that sees them. Let's put it in that way.
Hmm.
Hmm? There are the tendencies, there are the thoughts, and there is me. Yes or no? Huh? Then the attention goes back to me, to I. Expecting nothing out of it. Not even expecting the thoughts and the tendencies to disappear, or even the mind to stop. To whom these thoughts occur, to me. Eh? Who am I means to pay attention to this me, to this I. Sure, right. Don't feel bad. Don't feel guilty. Don't supervise yourself. Don't be your own guru. Are you following? It doesn't matter the quality of the thoughts and the tendencies, the impulses, the desires, the thought. It doesn't really matter. We are just told to see to whom all this appears. Right? That's all. To see yourself. That's all. To remain self-aware. You get distracted. No problem. Right? The moment comes when you realize that you are distracted, you are not longer distracted, and you go back to be self-aware. Oui.
In past, there have been few times when these distraction arouse, and I have found that in many of the instances I paid a huge price by falling for the distraction,
It's okay.
and that's what I fear the most.
And that is past. Then forget about it. What is all that if you don't remember it? So forgetfulness is a blessing, right? It's an act of grace. If I forget all what I did to others, to myself, and what the others did to me, that is a blessing. See? It's a dispensation of grace. Because what is all that, and where is all that when you don't think about it? Not to follow the mind. See, following the mind is with one's attention. If we pay attention to the mind, means we already gave reality to it. And we believe the mind is real, and with attention, we follow it. We keep it there by giving it attention. This is why the attention should go from the thoughts, see, to its source, right? Which is I. Who is the thought? I. From where the thought appears? From me. I. Attention must be brought back to I. Even if the thought does not disappear. If it does not disappear, you won't be bothered by it. If you believe that you are the body, see, the demand for sensory perception will be there. You understand that you are consciousness, then you may have them or you may not. And even if you have them, they leave no imprint. Blanca, bien.
Eso me pasa a veces, no se me activa.
Sí, sí.
So Ramana Maharshi used to talk about Vasana Chaya.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, vasanas, no? Okay, whatever. Yes, go on.
yeah, so he used to talk about the Vasana Chaya.
Mm.
So ho- I mean, what is the path to the Chaya of the Vasana, the eradication of the Vasana? Is it possible to exhaust it completely?
Absolutely. Leave no room for doubt. How do you experience the vasanas? See, or how do you experience the object of desire? Isn't it through the senses? Why will you do such a thing? Because of the body identity. Yes? So if you remove all the body identity, all the vasanas will disappear. Hmm?
See that your video had frozen. Your audio had frozen.
No, I think it's your internet. I'm cool here, I think. How can you see?
Okay, maybe I stopped. Yeah, could you repeat? I could not hear you.
How do you experience your desires? What is the instrument to experience your desires? The object of desire. The body, yes or no?
Yes.
So the I am the body idea must be there. So where I means body, and that is something that I desire. Right? So if you remove body identity, what will happen with the tendencies? They will disappear. So how the inquiry work, please understand that, otherwise it will never work. Whose tendencies are these? Whose thoughts are these? Whose desires are these? Whose ideas and beliefs and whatever it is are these? Mine. Yes or no? So who is this I that says this is mine, or from where this I that says all this is mine arose? Or because the thought arises together with the thinker, right? Because the subject and the object of desire arises together. If you see from where this thought emerged, so the thinker and the thought, the subject and the object will merge in the cell. The subject and the object collectively is the mind, or are the mind. Are you following? Man, I wonder if he's gone and I'm talking to
Yes.
no. Right.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, you are here, or yes, you understand?
No. Yes, I understand.
If that is too difficult, use the name and form. Bring the attention to the name and form or your personal goal. Or Guru, you're in Tiruvannamalai. So when the mind pays attention, when you see that the mind is running after something, then bring the attention, go and look at Unachala. I think. Are you following? If it is too difficult to bring the attention to the nameless and formless reality, which is no other than I, right? Then bring the attention to that, which is actually I. Make sense? Yes, no, are you listening?
Oh yes, I'm saying, but I think my audio is not very
I don't know.
clear.
Now when you speak, I can hear you, but it seems that I'm asking you a question and you get like paralyzed or something. This is why I suggest if you're in Tiruvannamalai, do pradakshina. You don't need to do it barefoot, right?
Hmm.
The idea is not if you have sandals or not. The idea is that your mind is on the Arunachala, right?
Hmm.
You cannot think about two things at the same time. And that will purify your mind. See, these tendencies will be reduced. So you can partially do meditation on name and form and partially do meditation on nameless and formless reality, which is no other than your own self, I. So take advantage of being in such a place. You're so lucky. You don't need to do production and you must have a roof in your house, yes or no?
What?
You have a roof in your house.
Yes, yes.
You can go to the roof. Most surely from the roof you can see Arunachala, right? Or no?
Yes.
Right? So if the mind goes to the application or to anything else, you bring the attention back to Arunachala. If you cannot bring it back to yourself, maybe or either you put the attention in that which symbolically represents yourself, personal God or guru, name and form, right? Or bring it back to your own nameless, formless beingness. The idea is to remove the attention from the mind, see, from the thought, from the object of desire, the object of distraction. Alvin no aparece por ahí, ¿no?
Ahora sí.
Alvin. No lo veo.
La tarde.
¿Mm?
En la tarde estuvo.
No digo ahora. Que eres anfitrión. O lo pongo como anfitrión.
No, falta.
Hasta ahora. Anything else?
No.
Hmm?
I
Mhm.
I like I sometimes I used to sometimes I mean, some places I read about, the Maya, like how the Maya comes to, distract, and sometimes it feels too real. Like sometimes it feels like as if there is some kind of a force which is, on purpose, purposefully trying to, distract me.
Yes, she can be found irresistibly charming, right?
Pardon?
Maya can be found irresistibly charming,
Yes.
but Maya is not distracting you. You are getting distracted by Maya.
Hmm.
And you get distracted because of the lack of inquiry. Means the lack of self-awareness, self-observation. So complaining will not help. Maya is real because you believe it's real. So the reality that the illusion has is the reality that you give to it. And the only reality, or what is the only thing that is real is you. The very witness of the illusion. So witness the witness, not Maya. Leave Maya alone. Leave it there. You can't help it. It's there, right? But it is an
Hmm.
illusion.
Yes.
To whom the illusion appears, right?
Yes.
That's the interest in the who or the whom, not in the what, in the whom. Not in this, that, or the other, but on I. If you pay attention to yourself, that which you already know as I, You will become aware of the fact that it's neither the body, nor the mind, nor anything else, that it is nothing but consciousness. ¿A qué hora sales al aeropuerto?
A las 10:45 me vienen a buscar. Y a la 1:45. Para mañana.
1:45. Tienes que estar en el aeropuerto como a las 11:45. Sales de aquí a las 10:15.
10:45. Me dijo,
¿Qué
media
es?
hora.
¿Media hora al aeropuerto? Sí. Sí. ¿Es directo a Barquisimeto?
1 hora. Con 1 hora de distancia.
¿Cómo que el pasaje?
130 y de vuelta.
130 ida y vuelta.
Se puede conseguir un poquito más barato.
¿Mm?
110 con Conviasa.
No sé, Caracas, el vuelo a Caracas debe ser más barato.
Con Conviasa 110.
A Caracas.
No, aquí se me
¿Aquí?
también.
Sí. Era Caracas.
Yo creo que está igual.
¿Mm?
Me pregunté para el vídeo y se me dio mucho que igual.
Ida y vuelta. Ahora, sí, 90, dice aquí. Esto es con láser, que es nada.
No, es venezolano. 80.
Me pregunto si esto es ida y vuelta.
Entonces, como si lo fueras a comprar, te arroja el precio.
Aquí, ¿verdad?
Y te pone una fecha y
No. ¿Alguna otra pregunta? Quedan 10 minutos. There is only 10 minutes left. Any other question? Ah, no, ida nada más, 80. Pero sigue estando bien.
Aquí dice médico en venezolano.
Está bien. Abre ahora, calla hasta él. Hasta mañana. Mañana en la noche.
Pues nada, seguir indagando.
Ok, nos vemos mañana entonces. See you tomorrow, guys.